Hi, guys, and welcome to our WWE SummerSlam 2023 prediction video. So, yes, I'm back with Callum once again with our prediction video for one of the biggest shows of the year, probably apart from WrestleMania, it probably is. Yes, SummerSlam. Yes, and I always look forward to SummerSlam. Every August, it's always such a big show. Um, really enjoyed last year's for the most part. And yeah, I think this year's looking really good. It's the first show taking place back in America since WrestleMania 39, because all the other three shows we've had since then have all been across the world. So yes, taking place in Detroit. It's like in a Ford Field, about like 60,000 seater stadium. So it's going to be a big show, just like last year's SummerSlam, and obviously the SummerSlams before that too. So yes, dear boy, are you looking forward to SummerSlam?
I mean, it's SummerSlam. I mean, exactly like you said, it's second biggest pay per view of the year. Lots of feuds happen. Lots of decent looking matches as well. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good few hours of fun next weekend watching the matches and seeing
Oh
what the
yeah.
outcome is and seeing who's there and things which I'm sure we'll get to talk about later. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, the logo is very different this year to what previous logos have been before. Just looking at it there on your screen, it's usually like a kind of party vibe, like the biggest party of the summer. Whereas now this looks like it's like a almost like a racetrack sort of thing. It almost kind of seems like Fastlane anyway.
Well,
Um,
it's because it's taking place in Ford Field. Rum, rum. It's like a motor
uh,
motorsport. Because if you see on the logo, there's like fire and there's cars. So
right.
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
I see.
Well, last year's logo was a bit different too, but yeah,
It
that
was a
was
bit.
like that was only like a one-off. But anyway, okay then. So let's get to it then. So we have, like I said, we have 8 matches. So yes, let's get to it. So the first match we have is a match which got announced last night, a SummerSlam Battle Royal. Now, so this was announced last night. It'll take place at the show, featuring both wrestlers from Raw and SmackDown. And after LA Knight and Sheamus got into an argument, Adam Pearce named them as the two of the first entrants. I mean, sure, we don't have to spend too much time on this. Yeah, cool. Um, I think it's like an excuse to just get a bunch of wrestlers on the card because they couldn't squeeze in a match. Who's good? Well, we don't know who's going to win because two people have been announced. But right now, I'll just say I'm going to go LA Knight. I think give him something. The guy's red hot at the minute. His merch sales are going through the roof. He got absolutely massive pop up money in the bank. He just deserves something. I heard his push is coming. He should have won Money in the Bank, in my opinion, but never mind. Um, but I think just give him this, give him a battle royal win. It means nothing. It'll be a big pop in front of the big crowd there. So yeah, yeah. Callum, there's two people about. So
Well, yeah, exactly like you say. LA Knight basically went and said, "Look, I want." He basically made the match. It was like, "Look, I should have been in the US title match. I want something at WrestleMania. I want something at SummerSlam. So,
mm,
give me something." So Adam Pearce is like, "Yeah, we've got this battle royal. You and Sheamus can go in and whatever else." And, I mean, battle royals are cool. I guess I'm sure it'll be quick. I'm sure people will get thrown over really quickly and XYZ. But yeah, I think LA Knight should win. I think apparently his push was going to start after SummerSlam, but there's no issue with him winning the Battle Royal, which is going to mean nothing anyway.
mm,
Probably. So you might as well just give him the win.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Will everybody say okay? Right then, let's continue. Okay. We have a singles match. Yes, we have Rowdy Ronda Rousey going up against Shayna Baszler. So this all got started at Money in the Bank when they were defending the Women's Tag Team Championships. Then during the match, Shayna Baszler turned on Ronda to a big OMG. No one saw that coming. And now we've got this feud, basically, which I think's been quite good. That they've involved because they're very good friends in real life, so they've used a lot of personal history, like um, their MMA background together, how they're friends. Now they've been brawling on SmackDown. And yet the story is, I think Shayna Baszler's just jealous of Ronda that she's got all the big shots. She had all the big. Well, Shayna had to like go through NXT and all that, etc., etc. But yeah, and I actually like the last one. So, dear boy, who have you got, Shayna Baszler or Ronda Rousey?
Well, Shayna's kind of been saying as well, "Oh, you ruined wrestling for me, Ronda," because she kind of did say that a little bit as well. I think at some point. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna go Shayna Baszler because if rumors are to be believed, Ronda is not sticking around post SummerSlam. She allegedly is either just like stopping and retiring or whatever. Or I also heard rumors that she could go back to UFC or something along those lines, so she may not be sticking around. Shayna Baszler presumably is, so she gains more from winning the match. You can't have Ronda just win and then disappear forever or for a few years. There'd be no point. So yeah, Shayna Baszler to win.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Shayna Baszler will get the win. This seems very much like Ronda wants to put over her friend, make Shayna look like a big deal before she leaves. If she is leaving, it's just rumors, but it does make sense, I think. Ronda's second run has been a bit rubbish. Let's face it. Apart from her matches with Charlotte last year, I can't think of anything else that was even good. I do feel a bit bad for either her or the booking. I don't know what's gone wrong, but hopefully she can go out on a high here and have a somewhat good match with Shayna. These two know each other really well, and Shayna, she could do with this a big push. I loved Shayna Baszler back from when she was in NXT. And then that loss to Becky several years ago at the COVID Mania, I felt like she just never really recovered from that. And that was like 3 years ago now, exactly. But maybe she can this can be a start of a big push for her. Maybe she can go after one of the titles after this. So yeah, I'm going with Shayna Baszler as well. And then Ronda can go back to her farm or go back and do an at UFC. We'll see. Yeah. So yeah, good. Next up, we have. So there's quite a lot of big matches. I don't know which one to go with next. Okay. Yes, we have a singles match. Yes, we have Ricochet going up against Logan Paul. So, these two have a bit of history. Obviously, the Royal Rumble where they did that massive jump on each other. They were both in the Money in the Bank match, and they had that crazy spot where Ricochet kind of botched, but he still saved it, and they went through the tables, and then they've just gotten to this feud where they were beating each other up backstage, and then they're cutting promos on each other. And yet Logan had like a. Did you see the thing on Raw? Logan had like a selfie stick.
Yeah.
And Ricochet just super kicked him, I think, and then just walked out the ring. But this should be a great match. There's no denying that. I think these two are going to have a great match together. Who's going to win? Well, I've got a bottle of Prime, so advertise. Yeah, Logan Paul. I think this is quite obvious. I think he hasn't won a match since last year's SummerSlam when he beat The Miz. And even he lost to Roman, he lost to Seth, he didn't win Money in the Bank. He had great performances. So yeah, I think it's very likely here that he probably will beat Ricochet. But this is going to be a great match. And I'm sure Ricochet's going to do all his shenanigans, all his flips. There's going to be some really OMG moments in this match. But at the end, Logan Paul, I think, will get the win. Callum?
Agreed. Everything you just said. I actually had a bottle of Prime today as well, come to think of
it. Cheers.
Cheers. So I don't think it's, Logan hasn't won a match since, like you said, this time last year. Put over Roman, put over Seth, didn't win Royal Rumble, didn't win Money in the Bank. So it's about time that he got a win back on the board, really. And I think they've given him Ricochet because they don't care if Ricochet loses a match. And they'll still make an awesome match out of each other as well. So it'll be an awesome match, and Logan will get the win.
Yeah. Well put. Not much more to say. Should be a very good match. Okay, next up we have a singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Yes, we have Gunther defending his belt, going up against my boy, yes, Drew McIntyre. Oh, I've missed saying that. Of course, Drew has been out of action since WrestleMania when he had that triple threat with Gunther and Sheamus, and Gunther retained by, I think he pinned Drew, didn't he? He powerbombed Sheamus. Oh, he powerbombed Drew onto. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. He powerbombed Drew,
One
and
or the other.
yeah, and he pinned Drew. But yeah, Drew came back at Money in the Bank to a big pop from the UK crowd when Gunther beat Riddle. And this feels like Gunther's just been dominating everybody. He's having one of the best IC title reigns, if not ever. I think he's not far away from beating the Honky Tonk Man's reign. I'm just a honky tonk man. Um, I couldn't resist. Sorry. Um, this one's tricky because we always every single of it we've just gone Gunther, Gunther, Gunther. But I think apart from WrestleMania, but obviously you had Sheamus, I had Drew. But this is tricky. This one because you could say Drew. But I'd love to see Drew win this. Because he could do with that big win. Ever since the Cardiff loss to Roman last year, I think that did a lot of damage, and he just hasn't never really recovered from that, in my opinion. Like at the top, but if he dethrones Gunther, that's a big deal. Sorry, who went first? I went first, didn't I? So sorry, Davey. Who have you got? Gunther or Drew? This is tricky.
Gotta say, I kind of wish it hadn't come to me first, but
Well, I think I went first.
I mean, like you said, it's difficult because Gunther is really close to beating, like you said, the Honky Tonk Man's record, and his reign is a Honky Tonk Man. And then his whole reign has just been he's just been dominant since. But I mean, I suppose you do need to have him beat like major threats to maintain, to keep his title reign strong. So defeating Drew again would be like a massive thing. I don't know. Is it still unclear about Drew's kind of contract situation? Did he fix it, and that's why he's back on TV? Because there was all those things. There was all those things about Drew. Maybe the negotiations around the new contract or whatever. Maybe did it say, okay, well, we'll have you beat Gunther. We'll give you an IC title run, and we'll give you a lengthy one. SummerSlam big win in front of a crowd, because I never got that when he won the WWE Championship. Part of me really thinks they want Gunther to beat Honky Tonk Man's reign, because why would they? He would just have it for so long. But then who's going to beat him if there's not Drew? Well, like if Drew's not the last person to kind of be, and then bringing him back as well. What they're going to do with Drew if Drew loses? It's an interesting one. I'm going to go for Drew.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
No problem. All right, you're going with Drew to be the one that dethrones Gunther after this amazing.
To be the one that dethrones Gunther, yeah.
Oh God. Oh God. I'm torn. Because I really want Drew to win, but I think they want Gunther to beat Honky Tonk Man's reign. But then if Drew loses, what do you do with him then? He's made this big comeback and he just loses again. It's like, but then I think if Gunther loses, maybe he goes into the world title picture, because I think that's what's next for Gunther when he loses the IC title. Oh, Gunther. Oh, I'm sorry, Drew. It hurts.
I was close. I was close. Gunther was on the tip of my tongue, and then I said Drew.
It really hurts. I'm sorry, Drew. You're my boy, but I just think they want Gunther to get to. Well, I don't know what the number is exactly, but to beat Honky Tonk Man's reign, he needs to go past SummerSlam. So yeah, maybe there'll be a rematch. Maybe Drew gets a third chance, maybe at Payback or something. But I could be wrong. This could be when Drew does it and beats Gunther. I could very well be wrong. Claymore, boom, done. But I hope I'm wrong. We'll see. But I'll be happy with either result. But obviously, if Drew wins, I'll be very happy. Yeah. Okay. So, but Drew and Gunther. Okay. Next up, we have then. Let's have a look. Okay, we have a singles match. Yes, we have Cody Rhodes going up against Callum's wearing a shirt. Something. Cody Rhodes going up against Brock Lesnar. Yes, their third and hopefully final match. As Cody put it on Raw, the rubber match. I think we all knew this was coming, that this was going to be a 3-match feud. I've got to say, I'm ready for this feud to be over now. It's just it's not. It's been the exact same since the build to Backlash. Brock just comes out, beats up Cody. Cody's like, "You're a coward. You're a coward." And no, and come on, Brock, fight me. And then Brock beats him up some more F5s. And yeah, the first two matches they had at Backlash and Night of Champions were all right. They weren't nothing special, but they were all right. Of course, it's 1-on-1. I think it's very obvious who's winning this match. Cody Rhodes. I don't even have to really think about it. He's not losing. He's going to get a big win over Brock here, and if he is going to be the one that, well, he does get his big rematch with Roman at next year's WrestleMania, then it makes sense that he just needs to get a big win over Brock here. Well, even though a proper win, because I've noticed the first two matches weren't clean wins, were they? Like Backlash, he was like a roll up pin. Night of Champions, he passed out, I think, or tapped out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this is the one where I think Cody just hits a bunch of crossroads on Brock, 1, 2, 3. But I'm hoping this will be a very solid 15-minute match too. So yeah, Cody Rhodes, I'm sure it'll be a fun match. And this might be one of Brock's last SummerSlams, because I've heard rumors Brock could be retiring within the next year or two. So SummerSlam is like Brock's show. I think he's made evented more SummerSlams than anyone else. So, but yeah, I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes. Quite straightforward. Callum.
Yeah, exactly like you said, straightforward. Cody Rhodes. Brock doesn't really go anywhere from here. I'm not really sure he would go on to have a feud with. That's on right now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need to win. He's Brock Lesnar. He can come back whenever, and he'll still be this. He'll still be this dominant force, and everyone will still be terrified of him because that's who he is. He's Brock Lesnar. Whereas Cody Rhodes, obviously, if they're going to keep him in that, I'm not even sure what they're going to do with him really after Brock, because is it going to be like the world heavyweight title? Maybe he fails to get that and goes back to Roman. I don't know, but it'll be intriguing to see what they do with Cody as well. But yeah, Cody's definitely going to win. He needs to be kept on that level of beating top stars if he's going to be the one to dethrone Roman next year's WrestleMania, if that's the way they're going to go. So Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Okay. Cody Rhodes. All right. Next up, we have. I think we've gone through most of the card. This has been quite short and snappy, but I think the main event we're gonna have a big chat. I think so.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we have a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Yes, we have Asuka defending her belt, going up against Charlotte and Bianca Belair. So
Asuka's been like the side character of her own title reign. That's what a lot of people are saying anyway.
This sucks. This should feel like a much bigger deal. This is kind of a dream match, these three in a triple threat. And I just, for some reason, I'm just not that bothered. I think the feud has been very lackluster. It's been mostly between Bianca and Charlotte. Asuka's like, yoo-hoo, I'm the one with the belt. Hi. It's okay. So of course Asuka beat Bianca at Night of Champions, and she's been champion ever since. But she didn't have a defense at Money in the Bank, disappointingly. Yeah, and I'm worried that Asuka's just basically a placeholder champion, and that they're either going to give it back to Charlotte, or they're going to not give it back to Charlotte, because Charlotte hasn't held this belt. I'll start that again. Charlotte, give it back to Charlotte or Bianca, because obviously those two have had belts before. Charlotte's had a lot of them. Who started the last one? Was it me or you, dear boy?
You did.
Okay, so you start, dear boy. Who is walking out with the Women's World Championship? Is Asuka retaining, or is it Bianca or Charlotte taking it?
Io Sky.
Oh yes, I forgot about Io Sky.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you got to think, isn't it? I feel like if any of the three of them win, then Io Sky is going to be there to cash in. I'm not really sure. There hasn't been an unsuccessful women's cash in, I don't think, has there? Well, technically, Asuka's cash in wasn't a cash in. That was just like the belt was in the briefcase, and when Becky went off and was pregnant and stuff. Could Io Sky be the one to fail the first women's cash in? Could Bayley cost her the cash in? That's kind of what's on my mind as well. But anyway, I don't know really. Asuka just hasn't really had a lot of time. The belt hasn't done anything with it. per se. Hasn't had a defense yet. I don't even think she had a defense on SmackDown or anything for it yet. Has she against anyone? Don't even think she has. Had even many matches on SmackDown, even either, to be honest with you. I wanted to stay on. I wanted to stay on Asuka. Bianca doesn't need it. She's been a champion for basically like 2.5 years, basically, on and off. Charlotte doesn't need it. She only lost to Rhea at WrestleMania a title, and she did. Every time she comes back, she wins. Though that's the only thing. So, what number would this be? 15 or 16 for Charlotte? I don't know what it would be.
I haven't kept count. I don't know.
It's going to be one of those. So I don't know if it's going to be the momentous match Ric Flair's record sort of thing. But for winning this match, I'm going to say Charlotte. But then I do think Io Sky will cash in afterwards. Because Io Sky and Charlotte have had this back and forth a little bit across the last few weeks as well. But as much as I don't want her to win, I'm going to say Charlotte.
So you're going with Charlotte, and then Io Sky successful cash in.
Well, let's just stick with Charlotte, and we'll see what happens in the actual thing.
Okay. This is tricky because it could be any one of these three. Yeah, I think Bianca gets it back. Charlotte gets another title reign, yay, or Asuka retains. I think Asuka deserves to retain personally. She deserves to have at least one pay-per-view defense before she drops it. So this is my prediction. Yeah, Asuka retains, and then Io Sky cashes in. I think it just makes sense. Strike while the iron's hot. I think you got a big show like SummerSlam, a big cash in. Yeah, Io Sky cashes in. Maybe she fails because we haven't had a failed women's cash in yet. But I think Io Sky deserves better than a failed cash in. So I think she'll be successful. And then, we get an Io Sky title reign. Maybe she has a match with Asuka at Payback or something. We'll see, but I don't know where that leaves Bianca and Charlotte. But this is just speculation. This might not happen at all. So yes, but I'm going with Asuka. Okay, then that's cash in. Right. Okay, that is most of the card. We're down to our 2 title matches now. Yes, the first pay-per-view with 2 World Championship matches on it were full for the men. Anyway, since I
think I did right. Yeah, I can't remember. There was a statistic, and I did see it. Last time the belts were split before WrestleMania last year, and I can't remember what it was.
It was before Mania. Before Mania 38 when they merged the belts, wasn't it?
Well, of course, yeah, it would have to have been, but I'm not sure when it was.
Elimination Chamber, the Saudi show. That last year. Because that was Roman faced Goldberg, and Brock won the time championship in the Chamber. So that was the last show we had 2 separate world title matches on a year and a half ago. Wow. It's good to have them back now. So yes. Anyway, so let's start off then with a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yes, we have Seth freaking Rollins defending his belt up against Finn Balor. I don't know about this match. It should be good, but I was really disappointed with the Money in the Bank match. I know some people said it was fine, but for me, I just thought it was very disappointing. It was way too short, and then they had the stupid finish with Damian Priest trying to cash in, and he distracted Finn and blah blah blah. But yeah, this is a rematch. Finn gets his rematch. I'm hoping this is going to be a better, longer match because we know Finn and Seth can have an amazing match together. There's a whole prospect of is Damian Priest going to cash in? Ooh. And this one's tricky. I could very much see Seth retaining because he's only had 1 pay-per-view defense so far. But you could say Finn gets his win because he got kind of got screwed over at Money in the Bank thanks to Damian Priest. Or Damian Priest just cashes in near the end when they're both down. Oh, so there's 3 very likely 3 things happening. I'm going to say Seth retains again with clean win over Finn. Then Damian Priest comes out. But I think something's going to happen with Finn and Damian Priest where they're tough. They're in a scuffle and Seth just runs away again. So it's not a failed cash in, but Damian Priest couldn't cash in time. So because I don't think they want Damian Priest to have a failed cash in. So yeah, I'm going to say Seth wins and there's a bit of a scuffle at the end with Finn and Damian Priest. Maybe they actually break up and start fighting, and that's the Judgment Day starts splitting a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my prediction. Callum?
Finn. I've been very set on this for a while. I think I don't remember whether I said Finn for Money in the Bank. I think I said, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm definitely going for Finn. Seth Rollins was on the Impulsive podcast last week, and he was saying about how he felt and stuff. Like he was saying, I mean, no, I'm getting to it. He was saying that his back was, buggered and his hips, and like, when was the last time that Seth kind of actually took some time off? Like, from the sounds of it, he said that he wasn't like 100% physically kind of fit. His knees were on the, do you know what I mean? Like, he said he wanted to be wrestling for another 10 years, and he's got a lot of time left in him, don't get me wrong. And he's had a great world heavyweight title reign. He's only had one pay-per-view defense, but think about how many times he's defended it on Raw and NXT and all these different things as well. I mean, I know it hasn't been a long reign, but just because the reign's been short doesn't mean it hasn't been good at the same time. And I think obviously Damian having Money in the Bank, Rhea being the women's world heavyweight champion, Dominic having the NXT North American title. I think the Judgment Day should have a piece of gold or an accessory for all of them for a bit as a group. I know that they're sowing the seeds of, the breakup, and that's fine. But I think if you have the breakup over the gold, like if, Finn has a rematch when he wins it against Seth, let's get the next pay-per-view or something happens, and then Damian cashes in on a prone Finn Balor, and then they fall out properly, that would be a great story. And I think, well, that's the way I'd want to see it go, anyway, personally. And I can see it. Or, of course, Damian just cashes in straight away on Finn when Finn wins. I'm not sure they do both cash-ins on the same night, but they could do. I suppose. About that. But yeah, I'm going to go for Finn Balor.
No, fair enough. Yeah, okay. There's a very good case for Finn Balor winning. I think I just wasn't expecting that. I was like, Finn Balor. Oh my god. But yeah, you've made a very good point for Finn Balor winning, and I think there is a good chance actually. Now I think about it. But I just think because Seth's reign hasn't been long enough, in my opinion. Because I judge a title reign by how many pay-per-view defenses they have. That's my thinking anyway. And because he's only had one and it wasn't that good, I think they need more than that. And I know he's had a few TV defenses against Bron Breakker and Damian Priest. They were good. But I don't know. I just think if Seth loses it here, that'll be a bit of a short reign. And you said, yeah, he's hinted that he's not in the best physical shape. But I think loads of wrestlers aren't. But I think Seth's not going to take any time off. I don't think. I've heard a lot of rumors that he's going to be kicking around. It could be very much Seth and Roman at Survivor Series title versus a champion v champion. But that's like months away. Yeah, but we'll see. Okay, and then on to our. Wait! Before the main events, Callum's like, no. We've got Grayson Waller. Might be having a show on this, a chat show on SummerSlam, and he's teased The Rock. And and now the rumors are circulating that this is the show when The Rock will come back. Now, me and Callum were a bit skeptical. We're a bit skeptical because we predicted The Rock to come back at the Royal Rumble. Didn't happen. He wasn't at the Hollywood WrestleMania, which I thought was just so strange. He didn't turn up at last year's WrestleMania. So there's been several times where they could have brought The Rock back and they didn't. But if they do it here and he comes out and just, I don't know, cuts a promo, rock bottoms Grayson Waller, oh my God, it'd be great to see The Rock back. And like you said it, with the Hollywood strikes, he's like, there's nothing to do in Hollywood right now. Oh, sure, I'll come back. Yay, I'll come back. So, and if The Rock does appear on this show, I think it's very likely he's going to make some sort of appearance or involvement in the main event, which makes it even harder to predict. But I know we're getting too caught up because The Rock might not even appear. So, but any thoughts on this? Any thoughts on this, Callum, before we get to the main event?
Well, I basically said it. I said it, didn't I? We've got a group chat, and I said if it came to Roman versus The Rock now, then I wouldn't necessarily even be that that bothered about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that you've got a strong opinion on this.
Oh,
At the end of the day, they had so many chances to do this, exactly like you said. And, while the bloodline was strong and while Roman was undefeated, and they could, I mean, don't get me wrong, it would still be a good match, but it would mean less. Like with things the way they are now, I would say, because we've seen that Roman has vulnerabilities from Jay, and the bloodline is split, and things like that, and it's just it's different kind of circumstances now. Don't get me wrong, I would still like to see The Rock versus Roman. I'm sure it would still be a good match, but I don't think it means as much now as it would have done if the conditions were still the same prior to, let's say, like when the bloodline was still together and Roman was still undefeated, XYZ. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, could he come back? Maybe. Grayson Waller teased it. If there's ever a time, like you said, it's going to be now when he's not doing anything in Hollywood with the actors' strike. So bring him back. But when are they going to have the match? Next year's WrestleMania? Because then the strike could be over by then. The Rock could be on his next new budget, high budget film, and and he's not even really allowed to wrestle because of as it's something to do with insurance or something, or risk of injury on his acting schedule. So it's very hard to even get him on the card. So who knows?
Well, we'll see. But yeah, if he does make an appearance, comes back, OMG. But yeah, I still think The Rock and Roman is a huge match. And yeah, maybe the hype level wouldn't be as big as it maybe last year, if it happened last year. But I still think it would feel like a huge match if it would be like The Rock's retirement match anyway. So yeah, okay. Right. And now it is time for the main event. Yes, this is a big one. So we have a tribal combat for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and recognition of the tribal chief and the head of the table. Yes, a lot of the line. We have Roman Reigns defending his belt with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa going up against Jey Uso. Ooh, this is a big one. We've been building towards this match, some would say, for the entirety of Roman's title reign. Like even back when it started with Jey in 2020 with those two matches, and then Jey became Roman's right-hand man, the whole bloodline storyline, all the help Jey's given Roman, all of his title defenses. And then there's the little snippets here and there about was Jey truly with Roman, and then we got the big breakup at, was it Night of Champions? No, it wasn't Night of Champions. Jey did it on SmackDown, didn't he? Jimmy did it on Night of Champions then. Money in the Bank, Jey pinned Roman. OMG. The first time Roman got pinned in 3.5 years. And here we are. People are saying, is this it? Is this when Roman loses the belt? Is this going to be it now? If it wasn't Cody, if it wasn't Drew, will Jey be the one that dethrones Roman? And I've been thinking about this match all morning, and it's so difficult. You could make a good case for both guys, and if The Rock is going to be on this show and gets involved in this match, then what's going to happen? It's like, oh God, I just don't know. Who started the last one? Was it me or you, D-Boy? Just keep asking you.
Well, it's such a long time ago, I can't remember.
Oh no, I think it was. I started with Seth and Finn. So
you did.
Yes, dear boy. Who is winning this?
Yeah.
Is Roman keeping the belt and staying tribal chief, or is Jey, main event Jey Uso, gonna do it? Oh.
I have the honor of starting with this match. Right. Well, it's difficult because obviously I don't know how many people are assuming Cody is going to be the one to take it off Roman next year's WrestleMania. Like you said earlier, it's Roman versus Seth at Survivor Series. That's been one which has been kind of put out there quite a lot that they've been planning for possibly. So obviously Roman would need to win. I do find it somewhat unlikely that they would have Roman lose 2 pay-per-view matches in a row. But at the same time, what do they do if he wins? I know that there's probably people who can still challenge Roman, but he's basically beating everyone there is to beat. And he still has Solo and he still has Paul Heyman, but Solo's been teasing, like Solo doesn't know what to do, and it's all kind of quite it's messy in a good way because it's a family feud sort of thing, and no one knows what's going on. And I feel like if Roman were to win, I'm not really sure kind of what direction they would take. Could they take the direction of doing Solo and Roman if Solo eventually turns? Obviously, if The Rock's involved, then we might end up going back down that route as well. But if Jay wins and Jay becomes the undisputed champion and Jay becomes the tribal chief, what does Roman do? Does he kneel to Jay? Does Solo kneel to Jay? What kind of? I would be intrigued to actually see what would happen if Jay were to win.
Oh.
But then could he win both? I don't know. Could Jimmy be? I mean, I know Jimmy's kind of been written off. I don't know if he has a legitimate injury, but could he be a work and he come back and help Jay? Oh, screw it, Jey Uso.
Oh my God,
Jey Uso.
Wow. Well,
because I want to see it, not because I necessarily think it's going to happen, but I want to see it. So I'm going Jey Uso.
Wow. I mean, you did pick Cody, so.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But most people pick Cody, to be honest. So apart from me, this is hard. You just said all the reasons why this is hard. If Roman retains, then yeah, Jey Uso will get kicked out of the family. I guess he's not even a part of the Samoan family. But the thing is that Paul Heyman said the elders called it or something. I don't know. This is just a throwaway line, or he told the elders, or the elders, like, so maybe Jay's got, this is just going a bit out there, but there's something else going on behind the scenes in the bloodline, and maybe some other Usos, because there's other Usos, isn't there? They come out into this match and they either help Jay or Roman.
Rikishi can come out and help Jay.
I know there could be. Roman Reigns. I think he's going to retain. I'd love it to be Jay. If he does do it, I think it's one of the best told stories in professional wrestling. It all comes full circle if he does do it. I can't think of a better told storyline. This whole bloodline saga has been phenomenal. But yeah, I think Roman's retaining because I think it's going to be Cody at WrestleMania 40. He wants that rematch with Roman. I think he's got to beat Roman, Cody, for that belt. If he finishes the story and just beats another champion, it won't feel as big. He needs that rematch against Roman, I think, at WrestleMania 40 and wins. So Roman needs to be champion. So I just don't see it. I'm so sorry, Jay. I really want Jay to win, but yeah, Roman's. I think Roman's retaining. Yeah. Oh.
But if The Rock is here, right? If The Rock is at SummerSlam and The Rock interjects and either, I don't know, whatever he does to the match, and then we're planning on having Roman versus The Rock at next year's WrestleMania, what happens to Cody?
Exactly.
So that's the thing, isn't it? Because if I mean, I don't know, people would probably want to see Roman versus The Rock more than seeing Roman and Cody again, no matter how popular Cody is at the moment. But well, it does raise some questions.
Roman and The Rock.
When
Roman versus Rock doesn't have to be for the belt, or it shouldn't be for the belt. So then Cody can face Jey Uso or Gunther at WrestleMania 40. But I think Cody's got to beat Roman. It's got to be Roman just to avenge that terrible defeat at Mania 39. So yeah, but anyway, WrestleMania 40 is like 7 months away yet. So anyway, yes, I'm going Roman, but it was a very, very tough one. But I just think it's going to be Roman, sadly, and we'll see where this leads. Maybe Jimmy gets a shot at Roman at Payback. That's the next pay-per-view after SummerSlam. Oh, but it should be an amazing match nonetheless. Should be an amazing 30-minute brawl between these two, war. So yeah. So before we finish, let's briefly talk about other things before we finish. Rhea Ripley, where's her title defense? For crying out loud, just give Rhea Ripley something, will you? I know she's doing loads of stuff with the Judgment Day, and yes, she beat up Liv on Raw, didn't she? She like injured her arm, and she's been written off. So maybe Rhea and Raquel gets made for next week on Raw. We'll see. What do you think, Callum? Do you think we're going to get Rhea and Raquel, or are they going to save it for Payback?
I think there's already too many matches on the SummerSlam card to fit another one there.
Oh, yeah,
which is
point.
A shame because there's. Oh wait, hold on. We didn't talk about Trish Stratus and Becky.
It's not on the card,
isn't it?
It's not on the card.
It's not been announced yet. Maybe. Well, because Becky beat Zoe Stark, and then that was like the whole. Okay, fine, you can have your rematch. It's definitely going to be on there. Maybe it's not announced yet, but it should be on there. But that makes 9 matches then. But first of all, I think there's too many matches. There's either going to have to be really short matches, or it's going to have to be a super long show. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Rhea, the way they're booking her as champion. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's running around with Dominic and she's on NXT now and stuff as well. But she's not, she's had defenses against Natalya since she won at WrestleMania, and that's it. She got a bit of a feud with
Selena Vega.
Oh, to be fair, that was the best match she's had. Yeah, she's always had that little thing with Raquel, which hopefully leads somewhere, and they do have that match later on down the line. But just kind of floundering a bit as women's world heavyweight champion, to be honest. Like, she doesn't need the belt to be doing what she's doing. She's not, if you kind of understand what I'm saying.
We literally had this conversation for the
last video, yeah.
Money in the Bank. Yeah. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see if Trish Stratus and Becky gets announced. I think if it gets announced, I think we're both going to say Becky, aren't we? It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, Becky's probably going to win that feud to finish it off. Yeah.
She'll win. Yeah.
Austin Theory is nowhere to be seen. Well, Santos Escobar is the #1 contender now. After last night, since Ray got a injury. I'm going to say that was a work injury.
Oh no, I think he's injured. I've seen it.
It's a legitimate injury.
Yeah, poor Ray. Santos Escobar.
Well, anyway, yeah, that's not on the SummerSlam card. I mean, Austin Theory is. I don't think I've really seen him around actually a lot, to be honest. Austin Theory recently, which is in something. Tag titles. Well, Kevin Owens injured, so I don't know whether they might have to vacate those. We'll see. But I'm not really sure there's anything else that I would expect to be on the card besides Becky and Trish.
I'm going to say this. There's a certain wrestler who's been out for a while, and he's heavily rumoured to be coming back soon. Bray Wyatt. What are you doing that for? I heard them. This is rumours, but I think it's time Bray. It does seem right. Bray about to come back. He's going to be feuding with Cody. This is just rumours. So we might get Bray and Cody at Payback. We'll see. It's wrestling rumors, pinch of salt, but you never know. But I'm hoping Bray does come back at this show because he's been gone for too long now. I get he's had personal and health issues, whatever. Why he's been out since before WrestleMania. But if he is coming back at this show, he's going to make some sort of appearance. Then please just get him back on track because they've done. Like I said, I could do a whole video about what they've done with Bray Wyatt since he came back last year at Extreme Rules. But we'll see if he is going to come back at this show. Maybe make some sort of appearance, attack Cody, attack Roman. Imagine that. We'll see. But yeah, I do hope Bray comes back soon. If it isn't at this show, maybe it's the Raw or SmackDown after SummerSlam. We'll see. And you got any thoughts on it? Possible returning Bray Wyatt, or are you just like I don't care?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's just how things went when he was on when he came back. Like, it was some parts of it were intriguing, but for the most part, I was like, "What going on?" He could have been booked a lot better, and then obviously we're supposed to have that thing with Bobby Lashley from WrestleMania, and then disappeared.
Yeah.
Randy Orton still needs to come back as well.
Yeah, there's a Randy Orton.
Not sure where he can interject himself. Maybe Drew and Gunther. Maybe he can put himself in there. Maybe something happens there, or because Riddle's not on the card or anything like that. So
I've heard Randy's going to have new entrance music. They're going to when he comes back. That apparently they've gotten rid of "I hear voices in my head." We'll see. Imagine if they bring back, hey, nothing you could say,
That would be
nothing
good.
you could. Oh my God, I'd go nuts. Okay. Well, yes, that has been our SummerSlam 2023 prediction video. So thank you all for watching, guys. Thank you for joining me once again, Callum. It's going to be a big, long, epic show next weekend. I can't wait to watch it. Unfortunately it's back to America, though, like we said, so it's going to be a long night, like probably 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, but oh well. Hopefully it'll be worth it. So yes, prediction video wise, I'll be back with Callum probably in late August for our Payback prediction video. That's the next pay-per-view. They're bringing back Payback. So yeah.
Premier League predictions first. You'll see me next week.
Oh yes, so in football video wise, yes, I'll be back. I'll be back with Callum and James and Luke for our Premier League predictions. But I doubt many people watching this are interested in football. But maybe you are, so welcome. But so yes, we'll be back on Friday with our Premier League predictions as well. So yes, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all very soon. Oh, enjoy SummerSlam.
Enjoy.